Order, members. We proceed to question number 95. It was put to the Minister by the Honorable Koni. DM.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. The government is planning to replace schools built with asbestos in phases. Some of the replacement activities in the affected schools are being implemented in the current MTF, that's the Medium-Term Expenditure Framework. Complete eradication of schools roofed with asbestos will be done by 2030 in terms of the norms. The replacement of partial inappropriate structures, which include schools with asbestos roofs, is dealt with in line with the timeframes as articulated in the regulations relating to the minimum. Is that some provinces have taken the step of ensuring that they do away with asbestos. As the ACIDI program, the Accelerated School Infrastructure Development Initiative, we are to replace mud schools and schools that are built wholly, fully, entirely of unsafe material. So you might have 20 classes of brick and mortar and one asbestos classroom. That doesn't fall under the ACIDI program. But what we've asked the provinces to do in terms of our collaboration with them is to prioritize these particular areas. So where there are asbestos schools, these must be replaced with brick and mortar so that we can look at the safety standards. And I do know that Gauteng and the Western Cape are paying particular attention, not to the exclusion of other provinces, to this particular reality. The ACIDI program, for example, has replaced 25 Planky schools in the Western Cape with beautiful state-of-the-art schools. So wherever possible, if we can, through synergy, because in the Eastern Cape, for example, there are closures and other provinces. So where there are closures and mergers and you have allocated funds, then we would utilize them as a priority to schools with roofs that are of asbestos or classrooms that are made of asbestos. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Koni.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Honorable Deputy Minister, I think you would agree with me if I were to say the schools with asbestos were inherited from the apartheid regime, and today they are here grandstanding. You know, they're behaving like those people who would abuse a person when the person is still alive, and then when the person dies, they cry the loudest. That is what is transpiring in this house. Now, ANC inherited these asbestos schools from the apartheid regime, and you know how deadly this asbestos can be, because it doesn't only happen in mines. It's also, I mean, in schools. It's also in mines. So now, what you ANC is saying, or your department is saying, is that our people must die, children must die, and because we find them in schools, it means that there's no future for this country, because it means those children will die young because of asbestos. And to date, you have done nothing about demolishing those schools or getting rid of them. So I want you to tell this House and South Africans at large as to why is this not a priority. Thank you.
Deputy Minister.
Indeed, you are right. I attended a primary school that was made of asbestos and a high school that was made of asbestos. There wasn't even a blade of grass in the playing grounds. That is the reality, but I visited those schools, and both of them are brick and mortar. One is in the northwest, and the other one is in Gauteng. What I can tell you about Gauteng, which I have a little more knowledge about, is that there's hardly any left. What the department has done is prioritize that and have eliminated, I think one of the honorable members had in fact just sent me recently a letter of thanks because I'd intervened on behalf of him in terms of a request to eliminate that. In the Northwest, for example, there were many, many asbestos schools. It's hardly in existence. So to suggest that nothing has been done is very, very unfair. In fact, what you could say is that asbestos schools have been replaced with state-of-the-art schools, which certainly are befitting and are the environment conducive to learning and to which our learners are entitled. We are not suggesting at all that we should delay that or procrastinate it. What we've engaged with the province, and provinces have an infrastructure grant, is to say prioritize unsafe schools, because it's important that you look at the safety of your learners first. So that is a priority, and in terms of the Council of Education Ministers meeting, that has been agreed to by all provinces, and indeed we do monitor it. But it is a challenge that we have to address, and address very, very quickly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The Honorable Mukweli.
Thank you very much, Chair. Deputy Minister, thank you for your response. But Deputy Minister, I want to take you back to to the Eastern Cape. Last week, Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, one of the principals from Hlokoma Higher Primary School in Mdantsane did send me an SMS saying to me that the class that we were using during our oversight visit was broken into, and the thieves, criminals have stolen the projector and the TV and some educational materials that were stored in that classroom. You know, Deputy Minister, that classroom is roofed with asbestosis. It means that asbestosis not only kill our people in terms of infecting them with the diseases, but also it's an easy way to the criminals. I don't know why ministers are laughing. It's as if this is a joke.
No, Honorable Mkweli.
Okay. It's as if this is a joke. And it's not a joke that asbestosis poses threats, and it's a material o elong gore o causa malwetsi mo bathong ba rona. It's not a joke. I cannot laugh for that. Now I'm asked. It's up to you. It's not my mother tongue. How you pronounce it is up to you.
Honorable Mkweli,
please.
Your time for the question, please.
Now I'm asking you, Honorable Minister Hore. I know you are breaking because of Northwest, because last year I've asked you about Northwest and I gave you list of schools.
Your question, please.
Of Northwest. Now you are breaking about Northwest. When are you going to the Eastern Cape, especially to Hlokoma Higher Primary School?
Thank you, ma'am. Your time has expired. Deputy Minister.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. The Honourable Member and I might have come from the same province, but I have a particular responsibility.
Order. The response is to you, ma'am.
I have a responsibility to the entire country.
Leave the Honourable Member. You are on the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. I say, whilst we both come from the same province, we do have a responsibility to the entire country. And the Eastern Cape, for example, has been the beneficiary of more than 140 state-of-the-art schools. If you go to Bizani in the Eastern Cape, you'd basically be able to see... no, I'm sorry, not Bizani, Libode in the Eastern Cape, you'd probably be able to see 34 state-of-the-art schools, and collectively across the country. Now, I'm more than happy to give you a full list of all the state-of-the-art schools, beautiful schools with laboratories, libraries, and all facilities over there. So in a sense, one could argue in the same vein that the department is now more partial to the Eastern Cape rather than the other provinces, because the biggest beneficiary of the ASIDI program has been the Eastern Cape, where there were mud schools. The second largest beneficiary has been the Western Cape, where 25 schools were built, and thereafter the other provinces. So it's really a question of need that has to be responded to. And the view that we take is that our children, irrespective of which province that they are located in schools, will be dealt with. I would be more than happy to look at to refer this particular school to the MEC for Education. If the Honourable Member could provide me with the details, and then I would engage on her behalf with the MEC. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Israel,